fancy things, my crib, my cars, my booze, my jewels. Look on me, I done came up and I ain't changed. My flow, my show brought me the dough that brought me on my fancy things, my crib, my cars, my booze, my jewels. Look on me, I done came up and I ain't changed. Go shawty, it's your birthday, we gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a party like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck, it's not your birthday. Go shawty, it's your birthday, we gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a party like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck, it's not your birthday. So come give me a hug if you in the gear up. You can find me in the club. Bottle full of bum, my mind got what you need. If you need to feel the buzz, I'm in the have sex, I ain't in to make it love. So come give me a hug if you in the gear up. You can find me in a
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? It's Monday night, it's Twitch, it's SOP in association with MOZA Racing and SpeedScents. We bring you the Praga UK Championship. It's round number 2. It's Brands Hatch Indy. After the first round, it's Luciano Whitfit who leads the way on 115 points with a race win. Luke Southall also with a race win, but a 5-point penalty sees him with a 5-point deficit to overturn. The next two drivers in the championship, Luca Schubeck and Victor Stratemans, both on 95 points. We've got Emmanuel Lopez on 84, Viel Creevy on 80 in 6th position, and it's Yanis Kovacs, Marcus Juzma and Jacek Kowaleski 7th and 9th, with Kovacs and Juzma both on 68 points, and it's Sam Shelton currently rounding out the top 10 of the championship. The drivers, as you can see, a bit much information there, are out on track already. It is a closed qualifying session, so they do have the track to themselves. Let me just pop some game sound on there for you so we can hear some engines. Excellent. So it will be a 10-minute qualifying session. The drivers will have the track to themselves, as I mentioned. After the 10-minute qualifying session, there's a 15-minute race. The top 15 in that will be reverse ordered for the 30-minute feature race. All the fun of the fair. As I mentioned, this evening's series is brought to you in association with MOZA Racing and SpeedScents. MOZA Racing, of course, born for sim racers. MOZA Racing is dedicated to designing and building the world's best sim racer-focused hardware and software products that enable everyone to race at their very best. The full ecosystem includes direct drive, force feedback steering wheels, aluminium alloy pedal assembly, digital dash, and a pit house control software. And we have, thanks to MOZA, an R5 direct drive bundle up for grabs for one of the lucky winners in the championship. That will include a direct drive base, a steering wheel and pedals. We're also sponsored by SpeedScents, who are an aspiring brand of air freshener catering to car enthusiasts, providing aesthetically leading designs and fragrant scents for you to enjoy your drives to the max. SpeedScents are just one of the series title partners. You can get a 10% discount at checkout using our unique code SOP10. That's SOP10, all caps, when purchasing any SpeedScents products. And if you want your car smelling fresh, Simon and the gang at SOP strongly recommend the Series 1 Mix. And thanks to SpeedScents, we have a phenomenal prize. The top placed British driver in the championship will win themselves a VIP package to attend the final round of the Real Praga Cup UK Championship, courtesy of SpeedScents, and as part of the Idola Racing team. The car on track at the on camera at the moment, and a phenomenal prize, a VIP day out. You got to sit in the car itself. More than anything, during the race, you'll be on the pit wall and in the garage as well, presiding over. the race. Let me just see if we can get some more game sound. That does seem very quiet. That's a bit better. Yeah, so a phenomenal day out at Donington, the final round. So it could be a cracker. Saul Jervis in the chat, good evening, how we doing? As we can see, there is only 4 minutes left of qualifying. And it is Luke Southall who is leading the way, 43.5. Only 4,300 ahead, though, of Luciano Whitvet. These two fighting out for the championship. And for pole position at the moment, not separated by a lot at all. A tenth and a half back, Veal Creevy making moves up through the standings. So too, Victor Stratemans in 4th place at the moment. Lopez and Schubeck not far behind. Then it's Marcus Juzma in 7th. We've got Walring in 8th. Frank Van Roon in 9th. Jacek Kowaleski currently in 10th with Maxim Baukenhout, who had an indifferent opening round, it's safe to say. Currently in 11th position. John Depril in 12th. James Rollins currently in 13th position with Yanis Kovacs in 14th place. I'm not getting any game sound. Andy Withers, Simon Baggas, both got times set as well. They are 15th and 16th. We've got Jack Gore, Henry Jacobs, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Sebastian Bortoli as well. 20 drivers lining up for this one. There is as well in the prizes, I forgot to mention, there is a raffle for anyone that takes part in every single round. They will be entered into a raffle to win themselves £50 as well. Which is great to see. Nice little loyalty bonus. And let's pop that off. There is a doctor in the house. Good evening, Senior Nail Bender. How are you doing this evening? Or sorry, this afternoon. Is with you? Is it this afternoon? Quick calculation. Probably someplace around about. Good afternoon for you. Doing just fine. Excellent. Love a doctor now. Hey, hey! There is the Flying Welshman, only one of the fastest and highest ranked drivers on Raceroom in Britain. Good to see Mr. Jixer in. And not a Northlife race, Jixer. Are you okay? I know you do like the Brands Hatch Indy, but yeah, I didn't think it would get you. I thought it was a Northlife only for you. You're not racing this evening. The dedication is strong. Oh, Whitvet. Well, I've been flirting with the audience. 7,000th now separate Whitfit and Southall up at the front of the field, but it is Whitfit who has the top spot. Southall now in second, still over a tenth ahead of Luca Schubeck. In third there with Creevy now in fourth. Straightman still in fifth. Lopez still in sixth. Van Roon still down in ninth. Rollins, Depril, Baggas, Malam, got a time set right at the end. They're done with qualifying. So too is Andy Withers. So it's all about these top two. In fact, with 44 seconds left. Oh no, they're just in the pits. They've still just about got time to get tomorrow. Right, okay, tomorrow. So where are you racing tonight? Is there no Long Beach or anything tonight? And yeah, what's the doctor's plans? Is the doctor... Oh, Dubai. Nice. Oh, well, there we go. The qualifying ended quickly. There must have been a lot of... Oh, and Southall retook the top spot there by 0.06 of a second from Luciano Whitvet. Not much separating the front row. They're good there. Schubeck in third. Straightmans joining him on row 2. Creevy and Lopez on row 3 with Juzma and Wallering. On row 4, Van Roon and Kowaleski on row number 5. Baukenhout on row number 6, side by side with Yanis Kovacs, 11th and 12th there. James Rollins in 13th with Jorn Depril in 14th position. Mr. SOP himself, Simon Baggas, on row number 8, side by side with Ben Malam. Jack Gore, Andy Withers, 17th and 18th. And row number 10, Andre Jacobs and Sebastian Bartoli. Oh, right. Yeah, Doc, you know what? I need to figure out how to do this whole advert thing. I really genuinely need to spend some time looking at that. Yeah, so the drivers have got a very quick warm-up session. And while they're doing that, big shout out again, thank you to SpeedScents and MOZA Racing. Phenomenal prizes up for grabs. Fuel MOZA R5 direct drive bundle, wheel, base and pedals. And SpeedScents are sending one lucky winner to the final round of the Praga Cup UK Championship. Final round at Donington. So yeah, the top placed UK based driver will win themselves a VIP day out. They'll get to sit in the actual car that is being raced at the moment. Phenomenal stuff. Adverts, yeah. Yeah, you know what, Doc, there is a way of changing it though. Yeah, it's just such a minefield. Such a minefield. But here we go. The driver. This one always catches me out, so we'll just let the cars spawn on track. It is Brands Hatch Indy, as you can tell, Indy, as you can tell by the qualifying times. Not the longest course that we're going to have, 43 seconds a lap. I think between the whole field, the average lap time is going to be someplace in the region of 44.5 to 45 seconds. So a lot of laps are going to be pulled during the two short races. 15-minute race. The top 15, the finishing order will be carried on to the 30-minute race, and it will be the top 15 in race 1 will be reversed to start race 2. Everyone finishing outside the 15th will remain in the position they are in to start race 2. And here we come, the warm-up round, the last corner. That was the commentator's name there, John Wright, that's me, also known as Double O Raven in some hushed corners of the internet. Luke Southall is going to lead us away for this one. As I say, it's a 43-second lap. This is going to be a sprint. There's about 2.5 seconds separating the front of the field from the back. A very tricky turn number 1 at Brands Hatch here. They used to do this one backwards on push bikes, but definitely more power than a push bike here. Southall does hold on to the lead into turn number 1. Let's see if everyone does make it through. There's Waller making it through. We've got a 2x2 for 5th and 6th. In fact, Wallering making a move up the inside then on Juzma. Molam Baukenhout making a move as well. Bortoli up a position as well. Everyone has made it through the first few turns. As we jump on Boulder Malam, he's all over the back of Simon Baggett to come along at the bottom straight into Surtees, one of my most feared corners. Of course, they do then take the sharp right-hander to finish Clark Third, or take Clark Third in his fullest. Of course, this iteration, one of the most original. One of the layouts of the track that's still used that is very akin to the original is where I was going with that one. Luke Southall still leading the way. As we can see, Luciano Whitford still all over the back of Wallering and Juzma trading positions once again in the background as Juzma makes that move stick once again. Van Roont and Rollins also changing position. That is a slow exit there from Southall. He's under all kinds of pressure. He's to take a full defensive line into the last corner as Whitford looking for an opens a corner out, looks to take the inside line. It's gone a bit of contact and that's left him open to Schubeck. Then Schubeck's going to say thank you very much. Oh, not quite. Didn't quite get as much of a run there as I thought he was. It did look like the concertina effect was going to leave Whitford out to dry. Straightman's watching this in the background. In fact, so too Lopez and Creevy. A bit of a breakaway. 1.1 seconds back as we can see Juzma in the background just running wide. On his way into turn number 1, so easily done at this course, all over the back. Still, that's Schubeck coming under pressure from Straightman. She's applying just the same amount of pressure to Whitbit, with Whitbit applying the same to Southall up at the front. Southall soaking it up at the moment though. 13 minutes left to race. We're only 3 minutes in, 3 laps already done, and the pace is just going to keep getting quicker. There is the cockpit view. You can see coming along the start-finish straight. They're absolutely flying at the moment. Into turn number 1. Did it all make it through this time? We saw just in the background Juzma having a bit of a moment He's settled himself this time through. He's got a bit of breathing space behind him as well. Kovacs applying some pressure on Kowaleski, not finding a way through in turn number 1. James Rollins now down right at the back of the grid, so there's been some kind of mistake there. Depril gets himself... Oh! Big contact there. Depril and Withers, both stationary coming out of Clark Curve. That's going to see them drop right down at the back of the field then. In fact, no, it's not, because Rollins is even further back. So they have gathered themselves. So back towards Surtees they go. So yeah, big contact down to the field. These cars so easy to snap overs here on the way. They are a full handful to drive. Certainly proved to be the case last week, and it's proven again this week. Maxim Baukenhut, he did have a few issues last week. He was running in the top 5, and then a couple of incidents. Oh, and there we go. There's Gore just ahead, just as I'm saying that. Gore, complete oversteer there. Out with turn number 2, and that's decent, dropping 2 positions as Baggett sails up the inside. And when I say sails up the inside, they're side by side. A little bit of touch on the straight, both trying to squeeze one another over on the curb, and Baggett keeps the car in front. Jack just about keeping control of the car. Lodi at the back end tried to step out on there, a bit of lift on the accelerator, keeps it under. Keeps it in check, and Baggett takes 13th position. Then Gore losing out on 2 there. Maxim Baukenhut, the main beneficiary. He's got a position and a bit of clear air behind him as the battle still goes on. Baggett still coming under pressure then from Gore. Gore having a look inside on turn number 2. He's got the apex. Baggett's leaving more than enough room then, and Jack Gore straight back through and back up to 13th position. Still pretty close up at the front then, certainly between the top 2 is Whitford, not letting go of the back of Southall at all, still within 0.6 of a second. They do have a fair old 1.5 seconds back, where we'll find Straightman Straightman full on offensive, trying to get himself past Schubeck at the moment. Schubeck hanging on to the final podium position. At the moment, the way things stand, Andre Jacobs for about 10 minutes of this race, it's a lot of laps around this course, another 12. 11. Jacobs 15th position, so he will start first place. So you better believe that Depril will be hunting him down. He knows the reverse order grid. He's going to start first if he can get himself into that 15th position. Malam, who's dropped down a few positions from his starting point, he's closing in on Andy Withers, who has recently had that contact with Depril. Depril himself trying to get back to that 15th, as we just mentioned. Kovac still applying some pressure to Kowaleski then. Into turn number 1, just setting that half second off. Luciano Whitford back to within 4/10. Oh, through turn number 2, Southall right over that exit curve there. Full bravery mode engaged. Comes in through Surtees, and Rollins has picked up a slowdown penalty. They're down in 19th. They were a huge factor in last week's race. Certainly something the drivers want to be avoiding this week, as we see Lopez trying to close in. He's up a position. He has overtaken Creevy, which he needed to do for championship reasons. He's going to start behind him in the next race if it stays like this. It's certainly looking very racy now that he is ahead of Creevy. And he's got Straightmans and Schubeck still battling at the moment. They're potentially slowing one another up. You see a 2.3 second gap between second and third, where Whitford, we can see, is enjoying a full view still of the rear spoiler of the Southall. 8.5 minutes left to go. So the way things stand, these two would take the top spots in this race, which means they'll start 14th and 15th in race number 2. Oh, and we've got a DNF Bortoli out of the race. And did we just see a position change there? Creevy and Juzma. On Wallering as well. Wallering up a couple of positions now as well. He now finds himself there. So Creevy, yeah. That's why I was looking at that's what it was. It was Creevy dropping down the order. He's lost 2 positions there. And Juzma and Wallering promoted to 6th and 7th. Baukenhout closing in on Frank Van Roon as well. Both of them using that curve. You can see the gap there. Definitely closing in. Straightmans has got himself 1.2 seconds back now to Lopez, so he's opened that back up a bit while keeping the pressure firmly on Schubeck. Luciano Whitvet finding a bit much here. Oh, potentially not. That's gone from 7-10. Oh, through turn number 2. Whitvet almost losing the back a bit. Gap doubling there, almost 0.8 of a second, as big as it's been for the whole race. We're through the halfway mark. We're 11 laps in after 8 minutes of racing. And it is still Luke Southall leading the way. That's the camera we want. Luciano Whitvet in second. Luca Schubeck in third, with Victor Strateman still very close here in fourth place. Emmanuel Lopez in fifth position. Lucas Wallering in sixth. Marcus Juzma in seventh place, with Veal Creevy and Jacek Kowaleski eighth and ninth. It's Janos Kovacs currently rounding out the top 10. Van Roon and Baukenhout separated by 8 tenths now, 11th and 12th. Gore, Bagas, Depril, finishing 14th and 15th. We've got Withers, Malam, Rollins and Jacobs 16th through to 19th, and Bortoli in the pits won't be finishing this race, so he'll be starting 20th in race number 2. What's a crazy roll cage? That Ben in the number 5 car. Only ships in the UK though. Right, okay. What we've done. I'm new to the Series Double Raven. Are there 2 races? There is indeed. Yeah, top 15 reverse. There we go. Try and catch up with the chat a bit. But yeah, some good races so far. We've seen a lot. Oh, Rollins is DNF'd as well. So Rollins back into the pits as Southall completes another lap, and Juzma's tumbled down the order while I was doing that. Oh, and there's Bagas going off as well at turn number 2. That's Jon Depril going through. There's Bagas, confirmation that was him. So Juzma, tyres dropped off a cliff for him there. Strateman's still in fourth place. He's got the same gap to the podium that Luciano Whitvet has got to first place. There's Bagas just getting himself out of the way as the top 2 chase through. You can see the spark spitting out the back of the exhaust pipe there. And if I bring up, all done by turn 3, says Chance. Consider the number of times I've been murdered at turn 3 here. Yeah, difficult to disagree. But yeah, if we jump on board, this is of course turn 3. Both of them taking completely different exits here, it's safe to say. But both surviving to make their way once again into Clark Curve. For some reason they've taken away the splitter cam in these cars, which is massively disappointing. As we can see on the Jacobs, Veal Creevy off track. Victor Strateman's having a bit of a moment as well then. That is Schubeck. Oh no, so he's not, sorry, he does still have Strateman's following him. Yeah, they'll have slightly broken the camera. Now we've got the sound of a helicopter and no engines. Excellent. Let's do that. Nope. We've broke it. Phenomenal. Withers and Depril swapping positions as well. Depril on a slowdown penalty and dropping even more positions. And he's just finding momentum again out of the last corner. So the driver's starting to struggle now. We're getting towards the end of the race. There's only 3 minutes left, in fact. So it really has flown in. I'm really confused as to why. I'm not getting these cameras, but we will still watch the race out of the front. It is Whitvet still chasing Schubeck. Another yellow flag there. Strateman's getting very close as well. Yeah, remote tool. It's having a day off, so this is what we will stuck with. Apologies for the helicopter sound. But this is what we've got at the moment. Kovac still trying to get his way past Kovaleski. Creevy versus Wallering as well. These two still pretty close. They do have a car they're just lapping as well. Oh, and Whitfit, suddenly a massive gap's opened up there. 0.7 of a second. That's the biggest gap we've seen between these two for quite some time. We are on lap 18, 1 minute 55 to go, so still another couple of laps for the drivers to contend with. Some blue flags for the race leaders as well. Straightman's coming out of the last corner, still on the back of Schubeck. Is he going to go for it on the last lap? He's got one more to make this one stick. Whitfit trending downwards at the minute. He was for the majority of the lap 0.4 behind the race leader. It's now that's just something to come on. Now sitting just over the 0.5 mark, so Southall done enough. Dewsmith picking up a slow down penalty. That is a blue flag just ahead of the race leaders. Very quickly out of the way. Look, there's somebody else getting out of the way as well, just going into the pits. That may well have been Dewsmith actually. Bagas now down in 18th position with Henri Jacobs. In fact, that was Jacobs, the race leaders going past. Oh, Goer looking to make a move, and he gets that one round the outside of turn number 1 then. Well done, piling on the pressure for Dewsmith. Whitfit back to within 0.2 at turn number 2 once again. Oh, that exit curve on the way down to Graham Hill Bend yet again. Unsettling Whitfit's car. Not unsettled at that much though. He's within 0.2 of a second. They're going to cross the line and they're going to get one more lap at this. No more than 0.8 of a second that separated these two for the entire 15 minutes. They've got a reverse order grid to make their way through. They're going to start in 14th and 15th position. And this is the start of the last lap. 0.3 separating them. Can Whitfit pull this one out of the bag and find an overtake on the last lap? Southall took pole position by 0.06 of a second, and as I say, they've only been separated by no more than 0.8 of a second over this whole race. Down on the way to Graham Hill Bend, you can see Whitfit visibly nowhere near that exit curve. Doesn't want the car unsettled, and in fact Whitfit, Southall what unsettles the curve. Unsettles the car on the inside curve from the exit to Graham Hill up into the last corner around Clark Curve. Opens the corner up as much as he can. Does Whitfit potentially looking for the cutback? Is he going to get the run? Southall foot down looking for all the grip that he can. They're going to be crossing the line separated by 0.2 of a second, but it is going to be Southall that takes the race win then. 0.3 across the line, 10 seconds ahead of their competitors who are separated by only 0.1 of a second themselves, even closer than first and second. It's third and fourth then. It's Straightmans who takes that fourth place. Schubeck hangs on to take third. Lopez gets fifth with Wallering in sixth place. Creevy got seventh with Kowaleski across the line in eighth place. Kovacs gets himself ninth with Frank Van Roon in 10th position. Baukenhout, better performance, well, better race than last week certainly. It wasn't so much his performance that was the problem last week. Jack Goer getting himself 12th. It's Dewsman 13th place then, with Molam in 14th. Depril in 15th position. We've got Andy Withers, Captain Slow, in 16th place, and it is Jacobs in 17th, and Simon Bagas in 18th positions. Rollins and Bertoli didn't finish. Luciano Whitfit taking the fastest lap with a 43.463. So the top 15, as I mentioned, will be reversal. Will be Depril and Molam that will start on the front row of the grid. Southall will be 15th. Whitfit will start in 14th position. Withers, Jacobs, Bagas, Rollins and Bertoli will all remain in the same position. Ooh, let me just catch my breath for a second. That was all action all the time. Good fun, that one. What a fight, says Johnny Visit. Indeed, Mr. TNC Visit, it was indeed quality stuff between the top two and third and fourth as well. Absolutely incredible. Hey, Blaine Rage in the chat. How we doing, bud? Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, I've been completely removed from the server. There we go. Let me just rejoin. Server switching sessions, try again. Okay, we'll get back in a second. What we'll do, once again, just a quick mention to the sponsors and the prizes that we have. Oh, Andy Withers ran out of fuel on the last corner. Oh, there we go. You do need to be a race engineer to be a sim racer sometimes. And yeah, Captain Slow ran out of fuel, so that's going to cost him a couple of positions. Let me just do this. Multitasking at its finest. As we wait for that to let me back in. There we go. Yes, so big thanks to MOZA Racing and SpeedScents. Phenomenal prizes. An R5 direct drive bundle, courtesy of MOZA. VIP package to attend the final round of the Real Praga Cup UK Championship. That is, of course, courtesy of SpeedScents, and that will be at Donington. So looking forward, I'm sure we'll see plenty on social media about that one. SpeedScents, of course, an aspiring brand of air fresheners catering to car enthusiasts, providing aesthetically leading designs and fragrant scents for you to enjoy your drives to the max. SpeedScents are just one of our series title partners, and you can get a 10% discount at checkout using our unique code SOP10 when purchasing any SpeedScents product. If you want your car smelling fresh, we recommend the Series 1 mix. I think that may be the mix that Juzma's got hanging. Oh no, there we go. Sorry, his car was rolling on its roof there. I thought that was yeah, just the sheer delightment at the fresh smell inside the car. And of course, MOZA, born for sim racers. MOZA Racing is dedicated to designing and building the world's best sim racer focused hardware and software products that enable everyone to race at their very best. The full ecosystem includes direct drive force feedback, steering wheels, aluminium alloy pedal assembly, digital dash and pit house control software. Here is race number 2. It is 30 minutes. It is Depril who will lead the way, and it is Southall who will start in 15th position. Two drivers not making it through to the second race. But we will stay on board with Southall and Whitford, of course, to see how they go on right from the start. As we can see, it's a beautiful clean start by everyone right up at the front of it. It's side by side, 2 by 2, all the way in with Southall sitting behind Whitford. Still as Whitford actually gets a jump on Andy Withers ahead of him. And he's making his way right through the field there. He's made another couple of positions. Rollins dropping down, Withers. Simon Baggas dropping down the order as well, so he's had a poor turn too there. Kovalevsky dropping down some positions. So too Lopez, as Whitbit already finds himself up into 10th position at the Graham Hill Bend. Up in the Clark Curve, he's up into 11th. Oh, and that is a car gone all kinds of sideways. That's Kovalevsky, I believe. It is. It's Kovalevsky completely off the track. Depril as well has tumbled down the order. He's been caught out the last corner then. So that is Depril who started up at the front. Jack Gore then leading the way. That's Van Roon. There is Gore. There's Juzma now in second. Malam in third. It's Van Roon in fourth with Baukenhout and Creevy fifth and sixth. Kovacs Whitvet up to 8th position. And Luke Southall currently in 10th, and he's all over the back of Lopez. We saw that Lopez was quicker than Silverstone last week. Trying to match that pace around Branstad's Indy. He's going to Indy because he's going to need to this week. He's got the race and championship, the race 1 and championship leader right behind him. And in fact, Whitford already looking for more overtakes. He's up into 8th position and coming into turn number 1. He's right up the inside of Kovacs then, looking for a move, and that is 7th place for Whitford. Nicely done. He really does understand the grip of that car, to say the least, as we see Juzma temporarily taking the lead out of turn number 1, but it's Gore who fights back in turn number 2. Southall Lopez temporarily changing position, so too Gore and Juzma again. These two side by side as the exit along the bottom straight, and another position change. There's Whitvet. Now, that's Schubeck change of position as well. Malam. Oh, that's a big contact there as Malam off the course. Oh, positions are shuffling all over the place. It's Luciano Whitvet. What a gift he's been given before the end of lap number 3. He's already up in the 4th place. Luke Southall's found his way up to 7th position, in fact. Andy Withers. In fact, let's see what's going on with Luke Southall there. He was side by side with Emmanuel Lopez already. Getting his nose in front of Huzzy. Still got Lopez up the inside. This bunker out, in fact. Oh, there's a big moment there by Lopez, and Southall almost collected there, but he does safely make his way through the end. Bagas down at the back of the field with Milan Straightens, and Kovalevsky, Jacobs, Rawlings, Wallering, and Kovacs all outside of the top 10. Now, Luciano Whitvet already back in the podium position, and 2/10 off second place Creevy into turn number 1. A bit on that inside curve. Southall and Gore having a bit of a battle into turn number 2 once again. Luciano Whitvet right up the inside. All the grip in the world in that car, it seems. And he makes his way down the hill. He's now in second as Southall finds himself battling with Gore. Beautifully up the inside of Graham Hill bend then, and that is a phenomenal move onto that bottom straight. That's a big contact in the back, and that's Gore, I believe. That's a couple of contacts for Gore over the 2 races, and that is Gore who's tumbled down the order then. It was Kovalevsky, I believe, was the other driver caught up in that. Yeah, it was. Jacobs makes up a position, so too then Straightemans. Up at the front is Luciano Whitvet already poised to make an overtake. Schubeck as well, now all over the back of Creevy. And there is Whitvet going for the lead of the race. Nice and easy, does it through Graham Hill and on at the Cooper Straight. As Whitvet 6 laps in, got the lead of the race, exactly what he needs. And at the moment, his main championship rival, Luke Southall, currently sitting in 5th position with still 25 minutes to go. How many positions can he get back? He's only got 8/10 separating himself from Schubeck, and there's an equilibrious 3/10 separating Juzma from Whitvet, Creevy from Juzma, and Schubeck from Creevy. Southall will certainly be encouraged by what he's seeing ahead, given how close these cars are to one another at the moment. That is really loud when we're on board. It's so hard to get the audio on this right sometimes. Hopefully that's a bit better when we're on board. Just looking down the field, Lopez, Withers in fact looking to get some action done as well. He's got Kovacs just ahead of him, so very close down here in the mid-pack with Kovalevsky all over the back of Withers himself. Jacobs and Rollins. Oh, and that is Rollins down. Rollins off. No, that's Rollins there. No, there's Rollins there. That is Rollins that was into the wall. And I believe, is that Luciano Whitvet that's just gone through it? No, it's not. But yeah, that's an unfortunate turn of events. Oh, and there's Gore dropping down the order as well. This one is an overtake, although he's fighting back this time. Has Kovalevsky got the grip? Or sorry, Jacobs, that is behind him. Looking for the grip through turn number 1. Let's have a look at Southall then. He's in 5th position, and he's got himself onto the back of Schubeck. Creevy still within 3/10 of Juzma. Juzma losing time to Whitvet ahead. Schubeck coming under pressure, but he's applying pressure as well. No rear view mirror on these, which is unfortunate to say the least, but as we can see them coming into turn at number 1. Oh, Southall trying to put one round the outside then on Schubeck. Schubeck fights back. Southall right out on the outside AstroTurf. He manages to hold the car into turn number 2, and it is the inside line still held by Schubeck. Southall temporarily had his nose in front out onto the Kerbin, which also almost killed Whitvet quite a few times. Oh, and Southall, what a move up the inside. Absolutely threw that up the inside. Oh, and Jacobs in the background goes sideways. That's Van Roon, sorry. Van Roon has a spin in the background. That's Southall then ahead of Schubeck, and Creevy all over the back now of Marcus Juzman. He's certainly going to be hoping he can get that overtake done sooner rather than later, because that is Southall now hunting him down. Whitvet with a 1.3 second lead. Now he's got himself out there. Juzma in that second place. Creevy on the podium. But if we look over his rear wing, there is Luke Southall. Safe to say, Luciano Whitvet isn't UK based, so if he does win the championship, he won't get the trip to Donington. The driver we're looking at the moment, Luke Southall, after, oh, look at this into Clark curve, absolutely nails it on the brake, looking for a move up the inside, makes a little bit of contact on the exit of the corner there. Much quicker on the exit, it would seem. But yeah, certainly Southall is the driver at the moment who is favourite to win that Donington trip. Given his standings, given the standings after race number 1 and given his performance in qualifying here. Oh, looking for a move at turn number 2. He's still got himself that outside line and he's got himself down the hill into Graham Hill Bend, and what a move that is onto Cooper Straight. And he's almost going to be given 2 positions in one corner as he's straight onto the back of Marcus Duzma then, so he is looking for that second place. In the race number 1, it was Whitvet that took the fastest lap by a 1/10 of a second. How much of a dent can Southall make in Whitvet's lead with 21 minutes left on the clock? No disrespect to Duzma, but you do feel this is an overtake that's going to happen sooner rather than later. In turn number 1, it is done. Duzma leaving a bit much room on the exit, and he's left himself open to Creevy taking that 3rd position for him then. So Duzma not only losing out on 2 positions there, he's now got Schubeck all over the back of him. Straightman's there in 8th position. Kowaleski still pressuring Withers ahead of him. Well, it really did clip that curb there. Don't want to be doing that too many times. Veal Creevy, in fact, he's looking very good indeed as well. He's only 3/10 off Luke Southall. 3.4 seconds is the gap between Southall and Whitvet. Oh, Malam just making his way past Andy Withers there in the background. I'm going to keep an eye on this battle up at the front because just as they say, absolutely anything can happen. We see full sideways motion from Duzma then, and that is Schubeck is going to make a very similar move to one we've seen a few times here already at Brands Hatch Indy. The Graham Hill Bend inside overtake worked beautifully for Southall to get him up to 4th, and it's worked beautifully for Schubeck to get him up to 4th at the expense of Duzma, who now finds himself running in 5th position. Creevy over the last lap, the gap between himself and Southall has doubled. It was 3/10 the last time they crossed the line, now sitting at 6/10. The gap between Whitvet and Southall reduced by 1/10 of a second. As you can see there, both drivers have in fact made it up 13 positions so far in this race. Let's just pop this up here and have a look at those lap times. Whitvet was quicker by 2/10, in fact, over that last lap. So he's doing exactly what he needs to do. It'll certainly make the championship standings interesting. As I say, Southall with that 5-point penalty in round number 1, and that's what sees him 5 points off the lead. With a race win each this week, or as it stands certainly, it's going to make the top of the championship a very interesting place indeed. The calendar, that's right, I was speaking to a couple of friends of mine who may well be in the chat, and we did mention one of the tracks we were particularly looking interesting in. Stowe is going to be fun. The rejoin, says Johnny Bizzett. Nikolai Mikov, OMG, crazy race indeed. Welcome to SOP. Wait till it gets to the last 10 minutes. Yeah, here at SOP, we don't do things by halves. Or certainly the drivers out on track absolutely don't. That is for sure. Oh, Marcus Duzma. Oh, it's going to bad for worse as we see him stationary just off the pit entrance then. Baukenhouse being given a track limits penalty. Duzma now finds himself down in 12th position. So that is a big fall there. Victor Stratemans currently serving a slow down penalty. But he has righted the car and he is hunting Wallering down. Schubeck Kind of being left behind a little bit by Creevy. Luke Southall has oh no, 3.6. It's still sitting at 3.6 seconds. Less than half a tenth of a second. Or sorry, bang on half a tenth of a second between the previous laps of Whitfit and Southall up at the front. And you can see the gap there. Up and down ever so slightly. Not quite getting to 3 seconds and not quite getting to 4. Or is it going to get to 4? Seems like Whitfit, the quicker, well, potentially they go back down to 3.2. Yeah, you would tough to say that this one definitely looking good for Whitfit. Well, 17 minutes left to go at a very tricky course. How are the tyres going to be after 25 minutes around here? That is certainly going to be an interesting question. Emmanuel Lopez, he has got Baukenhout ahead of him. Baukenhout not long served a slowdown penalty. He's 2 positions down from the start of the race, but still he's had much better luck than he did last week, that is for sure. You'll definitely be hoping that continues. Oh, some changes as well. Jacobs and Milan, Gore and Withers swapping positions there as well. Wollering and Kovacs are going side by side. Oh, as Jack Gore makes his way through. And it is Lucas Wollering out of turn number 2. So turn number 2 definitely not been kind to the drivers this evening. We jump on board with Van Roon, who's all over the back of Wollering. It's just rejoined up the inside of Clark Curve. The dirty tyres of Wollering certainly won't be helping that one. Wollering does manage to gather up around the outside and hang on just about to that position as Emmanuel Lopez still on the back of Baukenhout then. This for 6th position as we rapidly approach the halfway mark in the race. Van Roon still applying pressure to Wollering ahead of him. Or sorry, Van Roon now applying Kovalevsky is through. Wollering now with Van Roon all over the back of him. Jacobs closing in on Milan because Withers is closing in on him as well. Really could do with a bit more variety in the liveries on these cars. It would definitely make things slightly easier. But along the Cooper Straight, oh, Baukenhout and Lopez swapping positions back again. Lopez, has he got the move done into turn number 1? He has indeed. Baukenhout thought about coming straight back at him there into turn number 2, but nothing doing as we jump on board with Lucas Schubeck. Creevy. Something went slightly wrong from there through sector number 2. Whatever it is, his tyres are still ailing him. They're really struggling to get that grip down. As Schubeck closes right up on him. Bang on the halfway mark. We've got equilibrious gaps separating the podium. You can tell I love that word, equilibrious. Oh, look at the exit speed that Schubeck's got over Creevy out of turn number 1 and into turn number 2. That is an easy job done there. Creevy trying to have a look back there on the cutback. He did open the corner up beautifully, but onto the Cooper Straight. Ooh, Creevy getting a little bit lively there, trying to maintain as much momentum as he could, but Schubeck getting that move done. He's got 3.9 seconds up to Southall ahead of him. The gap between Southall and Luciano Whitfit still at 3.6 seconds. So the two of them lapping at pretty much, well, exactly the same pace at the moment, making their way through the field. Van Roon still trying to get some overtakes done. It's Wollering and Kovalevsky still ahead of him. He's looking close there. Withers and Gore still quite close. With Bagas trying to catch up to the back of Gore, looking for an overtake there potentially. Withers on the exit to Clark Curve. Gets a nice apex there, but didn't quite get the run that he did. Oh, Creevy picking up a slowdown penalty. And that really has slowed him down then, as Lopez makes his way through. Baukenhout could join him as well. In fact, he does. Creevy losing 2 positions there to that slowdown. And it could well be a third as Janis Kovacs all over the back of this group as well. Let's enjoy some cockpit camera in these cars. Phenomenal little steering wheels. And yeah, you can see just how small the inside of that cockpit is. The true definition of a single seater. Oh, and that's a whole lot of sideways action there by Creevy, but he's managed to hang on to that there. Absolute code brown moment through turn 1 there, but he's managed to gather it up then. He doesn't want to do that too often, though. These tyres won't be the kindest. And he was having a look up the inside of Baukenhout once again. Baukenhout firmly staying on that driving line and along the Cooper straight up through Surtees into the Clark curve. Beautiful move there by Creevy to take that position. Oh, but he's run too deep, so not so much of a beautiful move. He's completely misjudged that on the exit, and as any good racer knows, exit speed is everything. Baukenhout got that memo. Creevy not so much, as Kovac sneaks in to the slipstream. Is he going to go right round the outside of turn number 1? Is he going to try and pull it back on the apex? Good run there. He's going to have a phenomenal amount of speed going into turn number 2. Is he going to be able to throw this around the outside again here? Still having a look then. Baukenhout and Creevy still haven't settled their differences. Lopez, he'll be loving the view that he's got now that he's got that overtake done. He can see this battle a dim and distant memory in the background. Oh, right on that curve up into Surtees there. Kovac's really looking for any space he can. As we can see, Creevy again, the back end of that car just having itself a bit of a wiggle. Does not want to do that too often. The flat spots on the tyres will make it a very tricky closing few minutes. Just having a look here, just to confirm then, the gap up at the front looks Southall. Not sure what's going on, if potentially been slowed down or if Southall really has just got the foot down there, but that gap now below 3 seconds for the first time since Southall's taken second place. Oh, Baukenhout still close with Kovacs and Kowaleski. Who's that in the background? That is Lucas Wallering still applying pressure, and Van Roon is now getting himself involved with jump on board. They really do need to bring splitter cam back to these cars. That would be absolutely bang on. Oh, Van Roon really needs to keep that tight, and he does. Good run down towards turn number 2. Very close between this whole group of cars then. Van Roon, oh, we've got a DNF Bagus. Hasn't made it to the end. Oh, look how close they are down into Graham Hill. That is Creevy, Baukenhout, Kovacs, Kowaleski and Wallering, with Van Roon now in tow. There's a lot of points on screen at the minute. Stratemans has got himself a good position there in 4th. As we can see, he's got a big gap ahead of him, but he's got a nice 4-second cushion to Lopez behind. Lopez himself has got a nice 3.5 seconds back to Creevy, and then Creevy is bringing the majority of the field with him. Oh, Schubeg dropping down a position. He's got a slowdown penalty, and he has lost out on that podium position. It's Stratemans then up into 3rd position. These two very close in the championship. This could be telling. 10 minutes left to go. A slowdown for Schubeg. Stratemans on to the podium. Van Roon still Van Roon, the only driver currently. Oh, looking close. We can see Dewsman in the background having another wiggle. His tyres really struggling to get him grip onto the Cooper straight there. The car really shuffling underneath him. Van Roon at the moment, oh, he was getting close. But this group of drivers suddenly spread themselves out. Creevy, Baukenhout, Kowaleski, Wallering, Van Roon. And now, oh, Van Roon, and that is the oversteer we talked about, and that is a one-way ticket into the wall. And that is not the driver we were on board with, but that is going to be some positional drops then for Van Roon, as he finds himself lapped. Does it? Oh yeah, no, he's quickly getting himself out of the way. That is the top 2, I believe, just making their way through. It is indeed. Is Luke Southall. Oh no, that's Luciano Whitfit. That's Luciano Whitfit. That I was going to say, is Southall changed his livery? But nope, that is Southall there. And that suddenly says 11.2 seconds. Confusion reigns supreme. Answers on a postcard. Anyone see what happened there? Wow, so I'm not sure if that's an unforced error. I've definitely missed something there while I was looking at the remote camera tool of the championship standings, but Luke Southall was within 2.5 seconds of the race lead, now 11.4 seconds down. As we can see, Schubeck still tumbling down the order. I did say I feared for his back tyres, and with 7 minutes to the left to go, those fears certainly not unfounded. Given he's now dropping down the order, definitely a top 5 protagonist. Baukenhout finding, as I say, a bit more luck this week than he did last week. And that consistency of lap time is paying off for him in 6th position. Kowaleski could pile onto the Schubeck woes if he keeps up this pace as well. Only 6/10 off the back of Schubeck, although Schubeck looking to come straight back. Baukenhout if he can. Good turn number 1. Baukenhout missing the apex and running a bit wide there, losing grip, and it's straight up the inside there for Schubeck. Beautiful manoeuvre into turn number 2 then, makes that one stick, and Schubeck back up to 6th position then. Creevy, the driver ahead of him, still trying to hunt down Lopez. So a good race there, hanging on at the 4th position once he dispensed of that battle. Did not look back. Straightman as well, got himself onto the podium. And he's now only 5.8 seconds behind Southall, who has had some kind of issue. Oh, as we can see, a car completely missing his nose piece there. Yeah, so that is somebody carrying a bit of damage. Is it Ben Milan? Nope. Withers and Van Root. Oh, it's DePrill. We'll go up there eventually. That would explain why he is 34 seconds down. But he is completely missing the front nose cone of his car. I'm not sure that's going to do as much good for the air. I mean, it certainly will wait say, but oh, not so great on the aerodynamics, that's for sure. If I was, yeah, I see, I would be tempted to come in and get that repaired, just to make sure you make it to the end. His tyres are really going to be suffering at the front. They're going to be doing all the work. All the work. He's not going to have much good left on them, but he is still firing on. Whitfit still cracking on up at the front. His best lap time at the moment of 43.848, and in fact he's just on a 43.637, and he is the only driver. Oh no, in fact, just as I say that, Luke Southall's just cracked the 43s as well. He's just done a 43.6. According to this, 43.9, the 10th off. But yeah, these two, the only two into the 44, into the 43s. Frank Van Roon in 12th, running in the 44s, and then after him, Ben Milam and Gore in the 45s. But Whitbit, only 4 minutes left to go. 35 laps in a 25 minutes of racing. Again, just highlighting how short the track is. Baukenhout on Marcus Dewsma. We saw Dewsma having a couple of wiggles. Hopefully his tyres not going the same way as Schubeck's. He's going to find out sooner rather than later with Baukenhout closing in. Looking to re-improve his position. He was up at 6th at one point, now down in 10th place. Withers as well, actually, still closing in on Gore. In fact, he's just got that move done, or has he? He's up the inside, certainly. Gore on the outside line down the hill, and he is in front. There is DePrill just getting himself out of the way. And that is Malam. No, it's not Malam. It's Andy Withers, sorry. Improving on his position at the expense of Jack Gore. 4 minutes to go, and that gap up at the front is extended even further. Now 12.5 seconds. So Southall seemingly content with second place. I mean, let's face it, he's not going to make up that 11-second gap. It'll be interesting to see what happened. Simon's racing. I wonder if we'll get a wee note in the Discord. Nothing at the moment. With nothing there. There is Simon in the chat. Yeah, Simon, any ideas what happened with Luke Southall? Simon in the pits. Yeah, I was just having a look down there. It is looking pretty spread out at the moment. Kovacs certainly looking a little bit quicker than Baukenhout at the minute. He's got 2.5 minutes left to close in that gap. Kovacs 2 through sector number 2, certainly looking a bit quicker. Oh, that's Kovacs that we're on board with. Van Roon looking to close there as well. Creevy within a second of Lopez, so these drivers still can't afford to take their eye off the ball. Full concentration mode still engaged. There's Wallering out on track. We'll see if Simon's got no idea. Right, okay. But yeah, Southall, as we can see, dropping a huge amount of time. There, let's see Wallering. There he is there within a second. 2 minutes left to go. Let's spend some time watching Luciano Whitvet then. He got himself from 14th up into the race lead at a very, very handy pace. He made it up 10 positions in the opening lap, not too bad at all. Mildly aided by a couple of comings together in the field, but certainly now he's got himself out into the front. It has all been down to some very quick, clean and consistent driving. And I think it's going to be very close up at the top. I think this will still give Luciano the championship. He will maintain the championship lead. I think. He certainly won't be any lower than second, that's for sure, with Southall winning race number 1. Whitvet looking good to bring home that race number 2. Kovacs on Baukenhout still threatening that one, and Van Roon as well. Still close to Kovacs, so these three still hurrying themselves along. Southall now 13 seconds down. No visible damage on his car, not like the missing nose cone that we saw on Depril's car. Kovacs picks himself up a slowdown penalty. Doesn't want to do that too often towards the end. Oh, and in fact he's completely off the track as Kovacs. Turn number 2 once again. We'll find a car floundering their way down there. So the Praga Cup could well be renamed Druids the way this is going. Because that corner has undone more drivers during this race than any other. And around the very short track, that is quite the boast. Wallering closing back in on Kowaleski then. And Creevy suddenly all over the back of Lopez. Wow, he's really found some pace. Let's see where Whitvet is. We better make sure we catch him crossing the line, which is going to be sooner rather than later. Creevy though, looking for a move into turn number 1 as Whitvet comes around the last corner to finish the race. And he will win the feature race of round number 2 of the UK Praga Championships in association with SpeedScents and MOZA Racing. Let's see how Creevy gets on in the background. Luke Southall will take second place, 10 seconds down on the leader. It's going to be Straightmans who takes third place. Southall already crossed the line there. Straightmans taking third. Lopez and Creevy though around the last corner. Creevy 2/10 off the back of him. He's going to try everything he can to get the acceleration. A little bit of slipstream. Going to be too little, too late. He will get himself 5th position though, as the car ahead weaves across the line to celebrate taking 4th. Creevy will settle for 5th, I'm sure. Kowaleski in 6th. It's Wallering in 7th place. Schubeck already back in the pits in 8th place. Luciano Whitvet confirmation in 43.637. So he's taking the fastest lap in both races and a race win. So yeah, bet your bottom dollar he's top of the championship at the start of next week's race, which I didn't get a chance to mention, which will be Stowe. Yes. Yep, I know. Yep. Silverstone National after that, then Brands Hatch the Fuel Grand Prix circuit in Donington. But for this week's feature race, it is Whitvet, Southall and Straightmans that took the podium. Lopez, Creevy, Kowaleski at Wallering, 5th, 6th and 7th. Schubeck, Dewsma and Baukenhout finishing 8th, 9th and 10th, with Kovacs and Van Roon 11th and 12th. Malam finishing in, and that's completely gone, so we'll get the full results next week. But yeah, congratulations to the race winners. Some more incredible action for that one. As I say, it's Stowe next week. Oh, 2 weeks until the next round. There we go. Sorry. So yeah, we've got a week off next week. We will be back the following week. I did know that because I have transferred everything to my posh calendar. Thank you very much, Jigsaw, for all the help with that. And that is, yeah, so that will be 2 weeks. And we will be back with Stowe. As you can see on screen, SpeedScents, one of our series sponsors, with the VIP package to attend the final round of the Real Praga UK Cup for the highest finished UK driver. SpeedScents, an aspiring brand of air freshener catering to car enthusiasts, providing aesthetically leading designs and fragrant scents for you to enjoy your drives to the max. SpeedScents are just one of our series title partners, and you can get a 10% discount at checkout using our unique code SOP10 when purchasing any SpeedScents products. If you want your car smelling fresh, we recommend the Series 1 Mix. And we also have a prize of an R5 Direct Drive Bundle, courtesy of MOZA Racing, who are born for sim racers. MOZA dedicated to designing and building the world's best sim racer-focused hardware and software products that enable everyone to race at their very best. The full ecosystem includes direct drive, force feedback steering wheels, aluminium alloy pedal assembly, digital dash, and pit house control system. So thank you very much to the two sponsors. Phenomenal prizes, and of course everyone that takes part in every round will get themselves an entry into a raffle to win £50. So great to see as well. What we're going to do, we will go on a raid as always. And what we're going to do, we're going to go and watch some LFM races on R Factor 2. So feel free to enjoy. Thank you to everyone that took part in the races. Thanks to everyone in the chat this evening. Dr. Nailbender, Mr. Jigsaw, Blatant Raids, Nikolai Mikov, and of course Mr. Simon himself. Saul Jervis was in the chat as well. So thank you to everyone keeping me company. Oh, so was Johnny Bizzett as well. My apologies, Johnny. I knew I missed somebody there. And oh, we've got I'm Jack Blade. Well, hello, Jack Blade. I'm John Wright. Very nice to meet you. This is SOP. We are coming to an end this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks on Monday night to bring you more action for this. We'll be back on Wednesday evening. Let me just confirm that on my fancy calendar. Yes, we will. It will be round 3 of the Track Titan Championship. That will be at my beloved Barcelona. I've been waiting weeks to do that. Love that course. So, until then, stay safe, take it easy, and enjoy the LFM races you're about to be treated to. Good night.